celebrated the birth of their first child, a baby boy, Fernando.
He was a very beautiful baby. He didn't cry. If I sat him down, he sat down. If I fed him, he ate. Fernie was a perfect baby.
Mouse?
But at 6 months, Yvonne's only child was diagnosed with cardiomyopathy, a rare condition that causes the heart muscle to deteriorate and results in death.
They told me the only thing that could save him would be a heart transplant, but they were not willing to do it because it was an experimental surgery. So they told me to take him home and keep him as comfortable as I could until he died.
Good boy.
We started taking him from doctor to doctor. They told me that the prognosis was the same, so I wanted to be with him as much as I could. I slept with him, I ate with him, I bathed with him. And Fernie didn't leave my sight. I wasn't going to give up, because I felt I brought him into this life, and if I made him wrong, I was going to make sure that I was going to make him right again.
Though doctors first predicted Fernie would die within a year, he was put on medication and managed to survive. Over the next 2 years, Yvonne continued to look for a miracle.
In October, November of 1984, I just came home, and then all of a sudden a news break came out on TV.
Baby Faye was born with only half a heart and no chance to live. So surgeons in Loma Linda, California gave her the heart of a baboon. Dr. Leonard Bailey, who performed the baboon heart transplant, recently
I just knew it, that he was going to be the one that was going to save Fernie's life, too.
Yvonne managed to get Fernie an appointment with Dr. Leonard Lee Bailey's pioneering heart transplant team at Loma Linda University Medical Center.
He said when and if a heart does become available, Fernie was going to be a candidate for a heart transplant. But they have to come within 6 months of death before they're placed on the nationwide transplant list. So I waited. I thought, well, the hard part was over. But it wasn't.
When we continue.
Bye, baby. I was very nervous.
For the next 3 years, Fernie's condition remained stable. But in January of 1988, he began to deteriorate rapidly. 3 times in 4 months, the little boy was hospitalized with pneumonia and congestive heart failure.
Fernie was almost 6 years old, and he was 33 pounds. He was extremely frail, thin, pale. He was just like a walking skeleton.
Fernie was placed on the nationwide transplant list and transferred to Loma Linda. Doctors believed if a donor could not be found, he would not live more than a few weeks.
Okay. We had to carry a beeper. I thought I was going to take Fernie home, take my beeper home, and about a day or 2 it was going to go off. Beeper never went off, and he got worse.
In her desperation, Yvonne turned to the media for help.
It sounds really cruel for me to say this, but if there's a child out there that's brain dead or hooked up to a machine that really is basically just vegetating and is eventually going to die, why not have his heart or his lungs or his kidneys live in another child?
The next day, at a hospital less than 20 miles away, Audrey Radcliffe and her family responded to the news of a tragic car accident.
Boy was brought in from an accident. His name was David Dennehy.
When we arrived at the hospital, we knew that my brother had been killed. We knew that my nephew had some internal injuries and required surgery. We didn't know how serious he was.
The tests that we've gone through show us that, for all intents and purposes, there is no brain life left.
He said we can leave him on a support system,
The body lives on.
but very shortly his body would start canceling everything out.
Is not functioning at all.
At that point, the doctors asked, would we consider allowing him to be a donor?
Think of this as another opportunity.
We hadn't talked about it. We had just sustained 2 losses now.
Honestly, I felt like I was cheated because I didn't get a chance to hold my son and tell him that I really loved him. Even though he was growing up, he's still my baby. And I love Dave so much, little Dave. And we thought that rather than it be just a waste, that there's a lot of other people that are sitting around waiting for somebody's heart or for somebody's kidney, and they're going through misery. So I thought, the type of person Dave was that was always helping everybody, this is what he would want.
At that point, we knew that somebody was going to get a chance by what we had just done. It didn't make it so final.
Where'd it come from?
For Fernie, the years of waiting seemed to have come to an end with the news that a possible donor heart had been found.
Thank you.
Once the match was made, Dr. Bailey left immediately to retrieve the donor heart.
We try to keep the time between getting the donor heart and putting it in as short as we can. In Fernie's case, he was really down at the end of his rope at the time of his transplant.
I was just thinking of that other child's family, what they were thinking. I wonder if they knew who this heart was going to go to, or how they were feeling, how they said goodbye to their little boy or their little girl, and how happy they were making me. Bye, baby. I was very nervous and upset because I knew this was it. I was saying goodbye to him, but I didn't know when they put the heart in him that it was going to take. I thought that was going to be the last time I was going to see him.
A heart transplant, it's an amazing miracle that happens. To be able to actually lift a heart out of someone and put it to sleep temporarily and then implant it in someone you know has all the hopes and dreams for a future, and to have that heart come alive again and do what it's supposed to do is a genuine miracle in my point of view, and I'm awed by it.
In sports, the International Basketball League was busy.
A week passed. Audrey and her family were beginning to put their lives back together.
My husband and my daughter and I, we were sitting having pizza one night, and it came on TV that they had found a heart for the fernies Salazar boy that lived in Rancho Cucamonga, which was where I lived.
Child's heart fit my son's cavity just like a glove. And when they put the heart into Fernie, they said it just started. It was going. It was going.
And Mrs. Salazar had a special message to the parents of the child who donated that heart.
I know they're grieving, how bad they feel. I don't know what to tell them, but I know they're watching. I know you're watching me, and thank you.
At that point, I knew. I just knew. It had to be Fernie. It had to be Dave.
Happy birthday to you.
Though hospital policy prevents the identities of donors and recipients from being released, Audrey managed to find Fernie and his mom. Their families have developed a close friendship, and every year they mark the anniversary of the transplant with a special celebration.
Fernie's like one of the family. He's not my nephew, and I know that. He's a little boy that got a chance to go on.
Who wants cake? Cheese, it's got strawberries.
Fernie's very special to me. I can't thank Yvonne enough for letting us be a part of his life. It just seems that Dave is going on through Fernie.
I asked Audrey for a picture of David, and I put it in my room in a heart-shaped picture frame. And I remember that I'm a lucky guy because I got to live, and David gave me his heart.
Fernie Ramos is 9 years old. He will always be on medication to keep his body from rejecting his new heart, but his health is closely monitored by Dr. Marty Baum.
Fernie's doing wonderful. He is a very good example of a child who's adjusted well to his heart transplant.
Sounds good.
I would hope that future-wise for Fernie that he is able to do any and all things that he should dream he should be able to do, and I hope that his heart is not ever a reason to hold him back from achieving these dreams that he would have for himself.
We pray all the time that he's going on and on and on and on, and the heart is doing great for him. And like now, he's just doing everything, and we enjoy it. I would never have changed my mind on what I did.
Seeing people like Fernie will convince people that it's a good thing that we're doing. even though you or your child or your loved one can't go on in this life, that because of them, someone else can.
Go, Fernie! Hurry up!
We can make fernies happen every day. Or if we really work at it in this country and around the globe, we can reverse some of the tragedies that happen and make them all victories.